Hi, my name is Beer, and let's start with Ghost of Tsushima. Vast open world and intense melee and bow fights are right up the alley for everyone who likes Horizon games. Sadly, the availability of the game is the same as with Forbidden West. You will need to have one of those Sony devices called the PlayStation. But not all is lost yet if you don't have one, because there are strong rumors floating around the internet that it is already decided by Sony to port Ghost of Tsushima to PC. There were multiple revealing hints. The major one came from the infamous Nvidia leak, which revealed info of tons of unreleased or unannounced games, and so far this list keeps coming true. You can Google it if you're interested. And the Ghost of Tsushima itself is gorgeous. I was playing it for days and had a lot of fun doing various quests, slicing enemies in many pieces and adoring the beautiful nature. And by beautiful nature I mean everything except bears. They hop out of nowhere and show you that you are not the boss here, usually by killing you in one hit. Cry Primal. Welcome to the Stone Age, a time of extreme danger and limitless adventure, when giant mammoths and saber-toothed tigers ruled the earth and humanity was at the bottom of the food chain. Well, not the very bottom. Squirrels and raccoons were still below us, but a fat, juicy human would also be a more preferred meal for a saber-toothed tiger, so I don't know if this lower position of squirrels really help us here. As the last survivor of your hunting group, you will learn to craft a deadly arsenal of, sticks and stones, fend off fierce beasts and outsmart enemy tribes to conquer the land and become the apex predator. That won't be easy, except if you play on easy, then it will be easy. The Witcher 3. This is probably the greatest open-world fantasy RPG ever created. I say that not just because I blindly like the game, no. It has two features almost no other game has. And I'm not talking about boobs this time. In-game you will encounter way more than two of them. At first, it has exceptionally good writing. I mean, you don't want to skip the stories or dialogues here. They are so good you will start using the phrases you have heard in a game in your daily life. And the second feature is the combat. It's really satisfying and entertaining. You will never get bored of these unrealistic but very cool dances with the swords. So in this way, no part of the game is boring. Talking is awesome, fighting is awesome, and in between those two you will find an incredibly beautiful open world binding everything together. Elden Ring. Open world where you will be doing a lot of slashing, bashing, and rolling around. Sounds familiar? Of course it does. Game is Souls-like, if I can say that about almost a sequel to the actual Dark Souls, and themed around dark fantasy. It has the ability for players to create their own custom characters instead of playing a fixed protagonist. So you can create a character that you may want to immersively merge in with, or a character that you wish to be, or to bang. Yeah, I know you nerds. I'm one of ya. Honestly, I don't like Dark Souls because I suck as a gamer, but I bought the Elden Ring and I played it for hours and hours. I died a lot and the amount of deaths finally filled my cup of patience and I abandoned it. Now I'm thinking that I must go back and show all those creepy creatures who the real boss is. Probably not me, but I will try to perform an exorcism session on my noobness, just as my long-dead grandmother usually yelled at me. I will not translate that. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You will put on the shoes of a legendary Viking warrior on a quest of glory and explore England's dark ages as you raid your enemies, grow your settlement, and build your political power. Also, I want to stress out that you can't buy it on GOG or Steam, it's available only on Epic Store, and that's probably why I feature it so rarely on my channel. I like to read what other people are saying, check the review score simple folk left, and I can't do that on Epic, it sucks as a store. Also, although it is a great game, Valhalla is far away from the top predators of the genre, such as Witcher, by the quality of the story and characters. Anyway, it will keep you entertained for a few days at least. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. As people say, this game is a mix of Batman, Assassin's Creed, The Witcher, and Tetris. Why Tetris, you ask? As I always say, in this game, just like in Tetris, enemies will come at you in all shapes and sizes, at different speeds, and you have to make them disappear if you want to survive. See, Middle-earth is just like Tetris.
Deal with it.
The graphics and the world captures the essence of Middle-earth absolutely perfectly. In the same way like vodka captures an alcoholic and... That's it, just like that. If you are a fan of Tolkien's world, this game will make you an addict. The story is nice to say the least, and the combat is very satisfying. You'll feel as a bit overpowered combat god, but that won't affect the gameplay itself. You will always get some really hard adversaries to test the strength of your mental balls. Don't be shy, have them big and hairy so your enemies would die from fear alone. Monster Hunter World. You will take on a role of a hunter and slay ferocious monsters in a living ecosystem where you can use the landscape and its diverse inhabitants to get the upper hand. You can hunt alone or in co-op with up to 3 players and use materials collected from fallen foes to craft new gear. There are 14 different weapons at your disposal, each with its unique characteristics and styles of attack. Many hunters acquire proficiency in multiple types, while others prefer to attain mastery of one. Monster Hunter World has 87% of positive reviews on Steam, left by more than 200,000 players. Incredible achievement! Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen. This is a massive, challenging action RPG that drops players into a vast open world full of different creatures and characters. The game was a bit underrated when it initially came out, but now Dragon's Dogma is regaining its glory, and I've heard that second part is in the works as well. The game shares its open nature with games like Horizon and Witcher 3, but has more strategy and more dynamic fights. It is a tougher game in general, but if you like to explore the open world and love fantasy games, you will probably like this game as well. Gamers are talking that this is an underrated gem that is a must-play for every open-world RPG fan. Elex 1 and 2. Alright, so Elex and Elex 2 are made by the same people who created Gothic games, and if you are an old-school gamer, this information should spark real interest into your heart. The novelty which distinguishes Elex 2 from the first game the most is an entire system of aerial combat, with all its benefits including enemies with an improved AI. That is what developers are saying, but actually for me all the enemies feel kinda dumb anyway. Both games have mostly positive reviews on Steam, so wait for a sale and then snatch them both from this ripe gaming tree to your personal account. NieR Automata. I have no idea how to spell it right, but I don't really care. In this post-apocalyptic world, we will have way bigger problems than spelling. Humanity has been driven from the Earth by mechanical beings from another world. In a final effort to take back the planet, the human resistance sends a force of android soldiers to destroy the invaders. The game is made by Square Enix, a Japanese company, so the whole thing looks like an anime with huge unrealistic swords, super shiny special effects, women who look like underage girls, and men who look exactly like woman.
Welcome to Japan.
So anyways, if you like anime and Japan, play this game. You'll be excited by everything in it. And if you don't, just avoid. It's probably not for you. Also, I've heard that PC port is not as good as console versions, so keep that in mind. Outward. This is an open-world RPG where the cold of a night or an infected wound can be as dangerous as a predator lurking in the dark. And I mean real predators, not these with big glasses, long coats and weird mustache. Anyway, the game is hard, but it will tickle your hacking and slashing nerves quite well. Also, here you'll find a lot of action where you can use your rusty but trusty bow as well. Also, you can play alone or in co-op, even a split screen is a possibility. So you can play with your friend or a girlfriend, depending on which one you prefer to imagine. And yes, finally a split screen for non-racing and not shooter game. Outward will give you a sense of adventure and will not guide you by hand or penis with linear story, although not everything is good. Movement and combat feels a bit clunky, voice acting could be better, and character customization is very limited. But can you remember character customization in Horizon games? How many different faces, hair colors and even genders you could choose in there? Yeah, exactly. Also, have you checked the GOG weekly sale already? Hundreds of games are discounted right now. Yeah, now it doesn't matter when you are watching this video, and among those games you will probably find a few from this list as well. Click on my link in the description below and explore without regrets, because refunds on GOG are supported for up to 30 days. That is way better than Steam or PlayStation Store. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.